Hello everyone, the Honest Collector here to give you the truth on the Medicom Mafex The Dark Knight Returns Batman and Robin. Well, it's technically the Batman, the blue version, and Carrie Kelly's Robin. One of my dream figures, or grails, I guess people call it now, to get something that wasn't the easiest to obtain, and then it went on sale, so why not? I got this at Big Bad Toy Store, and I trust them very much when it comes to like imports and stuff like that, and just stuff overall, so that is why I usually get my stuff through them. This is not sponsored at all. Anyways, really nice packaging. Dark Knight Returns, they look very nice in these photos here, and then, you know, Dark Knight Returns, Mafex. On the side, you're going to get another display image here with some beautiful shading and photos of these guys. Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, and then that Medicom stamp. On the back, you get just a wonderful look at these figures, and the colors really do pop on here, and it is very evident also on the actual figures, but there's like there's no showing of like the texture that this thing actually has, but very interesting. It looks very, very good, and you can make them look exactly like this. So wonderful, showing everything it comes with. On the side, you're going to get another image. On the top, you're going to get Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. And that is going to be it for this lovely box. So let's take a look at the accessories. So for accessories, we're going to get an alternate Batman teeth-graded head sculpt. We're going to get a Bruce Wayne unmasked head sculpt with a swappable neck and a cowl down piece. Then we do also get some open splayed posing hands here. This is really nice. You can see the shadowing and the paint and stuff like that. Then we do also get these gripping hands here, which have these little individual slots for the batarangs, which I'll show you. That's what that looks like. Then we do get two regular punching hands here, which is really nice. And then we get almost punching hands with a little slit in between for him to hold the cape, which I always do like that as well. And then of course we are going to get some just open palm flat out posing hands out of the packaging here, which is really nice. Then for Carrie Kelly, oh, we also, yeah, the batarangs, I lost one. Don't hate me. We do have a Carrie Kelly head sculpt here that has windswept hair, which looks really good. You can see her eyes through the glasses, and I'll go through the main head sculpts later. And then we also do have a slingshot pulled back and a slingshot at rest. And then she actually does come out of the package with punching hands. I just swapped those up while posing. So she gets punching hands, gripping hands for the slingshot, and kind of like pull back hands, almost looking like thumbs up hands. And then out of the package, or well, not out of the package, but the other hands that she has sporting right now is the open, relaxed palm hands.
Okay, I apologize for the mic quality changing, but I hope it's better now. So taking a look at this Carrie Kelly Robin, first let's look at the head sculpt, as they did do a really good job. Let's just center the camera here. I'm sorry about that. So they did a pretty good job. I do like, I don't know why she looks way better in person, but you see the eyes through here? There we go. And it does look really nice. They are pretty visible to the human eye. And yeah, what they did for her, it's not bad. There's no like crazy shine and everything. It does kind of almost seem like, you know, not as much effort was put in, or more that it was just all to Batman, which makes sense, especially for dealing with a tiny figure like this. But for a figure that is this small, the articulation is really good, and it does look nice. Some people say she's too tiny, and I definitely understand. We'll get onto it more with size comparisons, but I think it's nice to have like a really like young looking Robin to really, you know, encapsulate and capture those early years if you wanted to do that and maybe change the head. So you could do that, or this just works for you. There's also a way cheaper option that is taller with the McFarlane version, which I will be bringing out for comparison. But this definitely looks really good, and that's not even getting into the range yet. But overall, it does look nice. It's not as a waste of space as people are saying it is. I don't mind the cape. I don't exactly like that it's this super like pleated kind of look, but I also don't hate it either. I think it's okay. So yeah, not bad. And then of course with the alternate head sculpt here, the more windswept, really getting a zoom in of how she looks there with a little more of a smile. That's really cool to see. I really like what they did. Looks just like the comic panels, which I love. So yeah, there's not a lot to really go on about detail or whatever like that. You know, they still just did like the regular stuff. The joints, although they are kind of a little on the big side and ugly side, they're not horrible to me. I don't really mind, and this figure still feels great in hand. And yeah, I don't really think there's anything necessarily bad. There's nothing crazy about it either. It's just a nice little 2-pack to throw in there. Now, this is the figure that everyone really wants to see, and this is the figure that I'm going to be spending quite a bit more time talking about. The Batman. What a figure, man. First off, I'm going to try not to gush because the detail and the paint and everything looks phenomenal. There's a lot of shading that you can see here, especially in like these posing videos on the shoulders and stuff, how it's darker in the middle, more light on the edges here of the bicep. Looks great, as well as the chest and everything. You're going to see that as well on this leg here. Oh my gosh, I zoomed in way too much. But yeah, you're going to see some dark spots there that go really nice with the texture and shading that they did. And then the blue, man, that's not shadow, that's actual paint, just in certain dark areas. They did a really nice job. They also did that for the boots here, that you can see on the corners here. So they did a really, really good job. You can really see it on these forearms here, the gloves. And that just looks so good, especially under really nice lighting. I think we can actually get it a bit brighter. So that looks really, really great here. And then the head sculpt as well looks really good. I am going to display, or just show at least, the alternate one. You just pop this off, and then I already put it like through the neck, but you're just going to have the little cowl piece slide it under the neck and then pop it in like that. And here is how he looks, and what a fantastic Bruce Wayne head sculpt here. This looks amazing. The paintwork is really nice. It's exactly what I wanted to see. The skin is really nice. So that is awesome. And then you have the cowl down piece, kind of like a hood. So that is really nice to see. I do love that the cape actually drapes over the shoulders. Looks super nice here, and it still makes him look broad and everything like that. So really, really good work here. This looks wonderful. I absolutely love it. They also included the swappable neck. And then putting this back on, they even have the little bit of shading in the actual neck piece here. That alternate teeth gritting head, not bad. It's not the best looking ever, but it's definitely been worse on other Batman figures. So yeah, I think this looks great, and they did a really nice job with the sculpt. A lot of people do have issues with the yellow, that it's either like misaligned or something like that. That's not going on for me. It looks pretty okay. There's still a little bit of that open space right here, but I don't think anything's necessarily wrong. I think they did a good job. It's a nice yellow, it's nice, vibrant, and that really nice classic logo. And a lot of this, just bringing it all together, looks amazing. And I feel like you're really getting your quality here for a comic book action figure with all this texture work. And where all the texture work and everything is really going to show too is on the back, because you see there's these hot spots here. Or I guess bright spots, or I don't remember exactly what they're called, but lifting this cape up, you're going to see all the texture work here is done really nicely as well, which I'm really glad they included that. And yeah, so it's definitely visible on like certain parts. I do wish that the cape did have the other two wires in it like they did with the Nightfall one, but just on the edges, it's not bad. It definitely still does the job. And yeah, I think it looks really, really good. And you still see a lot of that attention to detail that was not skipped out at all. If there's one thing I could confidently say I don't like, it is this the way the diaper piece or the trunks were done, because they don't really look like trunks because of how low the belt sits. It's more supposed to be like that, or a little thicker here, but it's very thin, and then the belt comes down to here, so it looks very like thong-ish, and it doesn't look that great. So that is unfortunate how that looks. It's a little off-putting, but nothing too crazy that I, just absolutely can't stand. I think it still looks really good. Just that does definitely, it's a little bit where it's like, yeah, it could have come down a little lower. We could have seen a little more of the actual trunks, so that way it looks like the regular, how it's supposed to look. But yeah, so this belt does go up a little bit, but it is pegged into the back, or at least glued into the back. It's so it's not gonna really be able to get out of the way or anything like that. But again, very minor pick or nitpick. This is glued in or kind of sculpted into the figure, so you're not gonna worry. You're not gonna have to worry about it sliding down to here or anything like that. And then unfortunately, this knife is actually just sculpt. It's a part of the sculpt, and that is really irritating because it does kind of affect articulation on paper. And like when you just move this out like that, even though the belt does go up, you are gonna run that into there, which is definitely scary. But it's not. It actually doesn't really get that in the way of posing. So thankfully, and yeah, so we'll go on to that more later. But it's just showing you it is kind of a bummer that it doesn't come out or anything like that. All right, Carrie Kelly. Let's see the articulation for this Robin. We have looking up is not great. That's kind of unfortunate. There's no separate neck piece either, but really good on the tilt. Or actually, maybe no. There's no separate. There is a separate neck piece. It just doesn't exactly work the way you really would want it to. But she looks up this high, which is not really great. And then side to side is good. Looking down is great. Obviously, turning side to side is going to be available. And then we do have the arm moving all the way around the cape. So that's nice. You do get butterfly joints here, which is just more on like a rotator cup joint. So that's okay, not bad. The articulation is serviceable. It's okay. We do get you're going to get your swivel at the elbow here. It's a single joint. All of this is sculpted into the actual sleeve here for the biceps, so no twist with that. You do get a little bit of actual shimmy range with the arm itself because the shoulder is a cap piece over the actual joint here. And then moving the arm out is going to be that far, which is, again, not bad. It's 90. And then you do get the wrist pegs here. So you're going to get the wrist swivel and the hinge and everything like that because it's on a ball. So that's really good. Not bad at all. Just okay. And then the torso here is going to be crunching forward this much on that top joint with both crunching this far down, which is still really good for such a tiny figure. Oh my goodness. I just took her apart. That is horrifying. Let's just pop that back in. There we go. Okay, so moving her back this far, a lot of gappage, very ugly, but she can go back this far, which is good. And then side to side, decent, not bad. So all around, pretty decent range, just be careful. And then with the legs, that's where the problem runs into because this one can kick up this high, stretching that plastic a little bit, and then this one can kick out this high, but you're really stretching it out, this piece here, so it's going to get a little, you might pop a leg off, not break it, but just pop one out of the joint. So you don't want to do that. You do want to be just careful to make sure that doesn't happen. You do get a thigh swivel here, up here, because they allowed enough room, so that's good. And then you do get a double jointed knee, which looks hideous when it's done like this, but you just pop that there. Pop this here, you get the same amount of range and coverage. So that is really good. And then the legs are going to kick out this far. Not great. Again, just barely acceptable. Not really acceptable for the legs, but just acceptable articulation overall. And then, you do have drop downs, but no, that's just going to get it up to there. So with drop downs, okay range. And then for the ankle, swivel around. You are going to get your pivot because it's on the ball, and then moving up this far, which is great, this far down, phenomenal, and then toe articulation. I forgot to mention, you do get your swivel at the bottom joint here pretty nicely, not going to get stuck or anything like that, so that is good as well. And then the cape is going to be bendy, which is a really nice wire, but only on the edges, which is fine for this figure. So that's why people are saying this one's bad. I mean, in comparison, I guess, because this Batman figure, spoiler alert, is amazing, but it's okay. So taking a look at the articulation for this Batman figure, it's going to be great. This guy, the head looks up this far, not the best looking up, but it is okay. That's not bad at all. It's just the design of the figure, to be honest. Looking side to side, or not side to side, but tilting is going to be great. You're going to get a lot of those like attitude poses here, or like just, that's nice. Of course, side to side, that chin is going to get in the way, of course, looking down and everything, but you still can look side to side. It's just the design of the character. And then moving the arm, obviously just move it around, move the cape around to however you'd like here. The cape does drape over the shoulders, but since it's bendy wire and soft goods, you're going to get out of your way. And then the butterfly joint is going to go back this far, which is really good. It's going to go forward nicely. You can put it just a little more forward, really stretch it there. Not stretching anything, but just pulling it forward. So not the best, but again, for such a chunky figure, this guy does get into a lot of really, really nice poses, and you'll see because of the way they did the rest of the articulation. Bicep swivel is going to be really nice. Double jointed elbow, not the best in the world, but it is still really good for what it is. And then you are going to get the regular wrist hinge here, the ball hinge, so the swivel and the twist and all that good stuff. So then for the torso, top joint crunching this far down. Oh wow, you can't see anything. Crunching this far down, which is nice. Going this far back, which is good, just some gappage, so you can always just try and close that up a little bit. And then with the bottom joint, because it's also amazing, boom, oh my goodness, that is some beautiful crunch. This is like modding type of articulation here. Back is going to be still, this does not go back, it's only going to be this joint, so that's going to be it. So that's kind of unfortunate for those like, those like under angle camera poses there. So that's really nice there. Side to side for both joints is wonderful as well. And then for the legs, oh yeah, also you are going to get twisting at the bottom, which is good. And then at the top as well, decent amount. So it should be enough of what you want. You could go all the way, but I just don't want to make this thing super loose. So then the legs drop down, hips right here, kicking up. Wonderful, because the belt is getting out of the way, guys. Crunching that torso. The belt is going to still be some type of like hindrance, but really crunching this guy down and bringing the legs, he is going to move super nicely. Really trying to push it to the limit here of what it can do, just crunching and showing you guys this thing is amazing. Combining all the other articulation points, really nice deep Batman classic poses, some striking, some terror kind of poses. How are they going to do moving out to the side? Oh no, I forgot. Be careful. Moving that one, not bad, good. Moving the belt up and stuff, be very careful. I have a feeling this is going to break off, but I'm not doing this for like resale value, so I'll probably just glue it back on. So yeah, and then this leg kicking out practically splits, which is amazing. And then kicking back, not much, but I don't think you really need it. Just contort the rest of the figure properly and you'll have the leg go to the back. And then double jointed knees, which work really nicely here. Just see if you can try and get a little more out of it. So depending on how you want it, you can. And then thigh swivel. Not the best in the world, but definitely okay. It's there. Maybe not as much as I would like it to be, but it's enough to where it wouldn't get in the way of what I'm trying to do. And then, which is why I love doing posing videos first before I do the reviews. Ankle articulation is going to go up this far down. And then no, it's not going to go out because it's just going to get blocked right by this cover piece, this little, the sleeve that they pull down there. But swiveling on the inside, that's really good. So that's not bad. And then, of course, you're going to get your toe articulation, which is nice, just looks a little blocky. But it should always be the full thickness of the foot. But not bad. It's okay. There's definitely worse from Mafex and other companies. And yeah, that's going to be it. So this guy still has some small, little things. You're like, oh man, I wish. But no, he's still going to get into some crazy, really nice, good shelf-worthy poses. And that's what I love about this guy. Here's how the Carrie Kelly Robin stands next to the more prime Batman from the Night Crusader, the black and gray version, and also next to the Zack Snyder's Justice League Tactical Suit Batman. Here she stands next to the Amazing Yamaguchi Isekai Harley Quinn, and next to the movie Flash from SH Figuarts. Here she stands next to the Power Princess custom Wonder Woman from Marvel Legends, and also here she stands next to the Mezco Red Hood. And here she stands next to the Dark Knight Returns Mafex Superman and the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Deathstroke. And here she stands next to the Mafex Hush Nightwing. And of course, here she stands next to the Jakks Pacific Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 3 Sonic figure. And here she stands next to the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys version of the Carrie Kelly Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. And because I thought this just fit more likely together, here he is next to kind of a Justice League to the other figures that I compared to the Carrie Kelly Robin, the SH Figure Arts Flash, Mafex Superman, Dark Knight Returns, and the custom Power Princess. Here he stands next to the Mafex Hush Nightwing and the Carrie Kelly Robin from McFarlane Toys, and the Deathstroke and the Mezco Red Hood. Here he stands next to his other Mafex iterations and the Harley Quinn. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on this 2-pack? It is definitely a good one. I mean, even if you're just going to get the Batman and you don't really care about the Robin, then that's completely fine. It's still going to be really good. It's on sale right now at Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I got it from. So you're paying as pretty much now being a little cheaper than what you would pay for one figure now. Like the Mafex Hush Robin is way worse and is $130. This one I think is only $97 right now on Big Bad Toy Store. So I would go pick it up if you are interested at all in this figure. It poses really well. It looks great. It does exactly what it should do as a Mafex, as an import figure. So to me, it's wonderful. And yes, it does have flaws, but honestly, with this certain figure, you could tell there was a lot of care put into it and detail and everything like that. Very enjoyable and checks all the boxes that it should for a Mafex figure. So with that, I'm going to give this 2-pack a 9 out of 10. And yeah, that's going to be it. I feel very strong on this 2-pack. It's really nice. And I absolutely love what they did to interpret and pay tribute to the amazing story from Frank Miller. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please give this video a like and subscribe and turn on notifications so I can give you the truth on the next figure. But don't forget, guys, spread peace, love, and please be greater together. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.